Welcome to the Applicant Worksheets How-To video series, presented by FEMA's Public Assistance Training section. In this series of 7 videos, we explain where and how to obtain FEMA Public Assistance Applicant Worksheets, as well as how to record information accurately on 6 specific worksheets. This is part 3 of the series. Here we demonstrate how to fill in the Force Account Labor Summary Record. The Force Account Labor Summary Record provides information about work performed by an applicant's force account. The term Force Account Labor refers to an applicant's own labor force, meaning its own employees. Let's take a look at the worksheet next. If you'd like, feel free to open the copy of this worksheet you downloaded in part 1 of this series and follow along there. Before we get started, there are several helpful hints to consider when filling out the Force Account Labor Summary Record. You'll want to create templates to keep from having to fill in the same information multiple times. To do this, first, create a list of your employees in a separate spreadsheet or list, and then sort the list alphabetically. List your employees in the last name, first name format. Next, fill in the header information of the Force Account Labor Summary Record, except for the description of work performed and the period covered. If your employees vary from week to week, pause here and save a copy of this partially completed form as a template. If you generally have the same employees each week, you can also fill in their names, titles, and payroll information and then save these forms as templates. The worksheets have room for 4 employees per page. With the templates you've saved, you can create other periods of work for the same employees without having to recreate the form each time. This works especially well if you have a large number of employees. Even if an employee does not work in a particular week, still show their leave classification, such as AL for annual leave and SL for sick leave, along with the hours per day. Okay, now let's get started with the Force Account Labor Summary Record. The first part we fill in is the header information. In the Applicant box, you will enter the name of your organization. The PAID, or Public Assistance Identification Number, is permanently assigned to your organization by the FEMA Public Assistance Program. It is available in FEMA's Grants Portal application or from your recipient or FEMA representative. The project number refers to the project for which you are requesting reimbursement. Use the one given to you by your FEMA representative, or, if one is not available, use your own project number that corresponds to the work you've done. The next box is the FEMA disaster number under which you are requesting funding. Typically, this begins with the letters DR or EM, followed by a hyphen, 4 digits, and a short abbreviation for your state or tribe. Next is the location or site. If this summary is for work done at a specific site, enter the site name. For multiple sites, enter all of the site names that were worked on for the time period you're reporting. FEMA has 7 broad categories, A through G, to describe public assistance work. If you are unsure of the category, refer to the Public Assistance Program and Policy Guide or consult with your recipient or FEMA representative. At this point, save this form as a template that can be copied for future use. Later, when you are filling out this form for a specific project, you will fill in the period covering and the description of work performed. The period covering should show the time period of work reflected in the form. This form is set up for a 1-week period, normally corresponding to the pay week. The description of work performed should describe what work your employees were performing. Here, you should be brief but as specific as possible about the work completed during the period covered. However, remember we aren't filling in these 2 parts just yet. The next section we will fill in is the template body. Starting on the left-hand side, refer to your separate list of employees and enter the first 4 names in the last name, first name format. Below each name, provide the employee's job title. On the right side, in the hourly rate column, enter the first employee's regular hourly rate in the Reg row and the overtime hourly rate in the OT row. These should be recorded as dollar amounts. In the benefit rate per hour column, show the regular time benefit percentage in the Reg row and the overtime benefit percentage in the OT row. In the total hourly rate column, multiply the hourly rate in the Reg row by the benefit rate per hour in the reg row to arrive at the total hourly rate for the reg row. This should be recorded as a dollar amount. In the total hourly rate column, multiply the hourly rate in the OT row by the benefit rate per hour in the OT row to arrive at the total hourly rate for the OT row. This should also be recorded as a dollar amount. Repeat this for each of the 4 employees on the page. At this point, before you input dates and hours to the Force Account Labor Summary record, save this form as a template. You can then use this template to create other periods of work for the same employees without having to re-input the information each time. This works especially well if you have a large number of employees. Once you are ready to fill in this worksheet for a particular project, open the Force Account Labor Summary record template you created and save it as a project-specific file. Because you filled in the template already, most of the header and employee information should already be complete. As a reminder, for your project-specific worksheet, now is the time to go back to the header and fill in the period covering with the time period or range of dates your worksheet will include, as well as the description of work performed. Try to be brief but as specific as possible about the work completed during the period covered. Now, to fill in the rest of the worksheet body, start with the Dates row. An example of a completed form is shown here. A helpful hint is to start the first day so that it coincides with the start of the pay week. For example, if your work week or pay period starts on a Sunday, make that date the first column. Next, for each date, fill in the hours worked by each employee. Record regular time worked on the project, even if it is not eligible for that category of work. It may be used to validate the use of Force Account equipment, which could be eligible. Because the form is not interactive, you can use the hours worked to record any leave classifications used, such as 8SL for 8 hours of sick leave. Remember to record overtime in accordance with your overtime policy. For example, overtime for some employees starts after a 40-hour week, while for others it starts after an 8-hour day. You should upload a copy of your pay and overtime policy into FEMA's Grants Portal application. Next, you will fill in costs. Under Total Hours, add and then enter all of the claimed hours worked by each employee, both regular and overtime. Under Total Costs, multiply the total hours by the total hourly rate and record this as a dollar amount. At the bottom, add all the regular time total costs and record as a dollar amount. Next, add all the overtime total costs. Record this as a dollar amount as well. Make sure to double-check your math. Next, in the Certified box, provide the name of the person certifying this form, as well as that person's title in the Title box, and the date certified in the Date box. Finally, be sure to put the page number at the top of the worksheet, and then save your project-specific file. Make sure not to save as your template file name, or it will be overwritten. Congratulations! You have successfully completed the Force Account Labor Summary record. This is one of the public assistance documents you as an applicant will upload to FEMA using the Grants Portal application. To learn more about Grants Portal, FEMA offers other classes, webinars, and manuals. You can also contact the Grants Manager and Portal hotline at 866-337-8448 or email FEMA-recovery-PA-grants@fema.dhs.gov for additional support. Thank you for watching.